Anna tightened her grip on her worn-out purse as she stepped into La Bellissima, one of the most exclusive boutiques nestled on Fifth Avenue. The store was a polished palace of white marble, glass shelves, and golden lighting. Everything screamed wealth, sparkling displays, hushed jazz music, and the faint scent of imported French perfume that clung to the air like expensive secrets. She paused at the entrance, adjusting the strap on her shoulder and pulling her hoodie down slightly, hoping not to stand out, but she already knew she did. Her jeans were faded at the knees, her sneakers scuffed and cheap. She didn't come here to flaunt money. She barely had any. She'd only come to find a small, elegant birthday gift for her mother. Something beautiful, something she deserved. She walked slowly, careful not to brush against the fragile crystal displays. Every footstep felt louder than it was. From behind the main counter, two saleswomen clocked her the moment she entered. They were the kind of women who had mastered the art of smiling with their mouths, but glaring with their eyes. One of them nudged the other and tilted her head slightly toward Anna. Without saying a word, their judgment filled the room. Anna tried to ignore them and approached a shelf that displayed delicate charm bracelets, each one nestled in velvet boxes. One caught her eye, a simple silver chain with a small gold-plated heart. The price tag read $59. It wasn't cheap, but she had saved exactly $61 from extra shifts at the campus bookstore and cutting down on lunch. She reached out to lift it gently when a voice behind her cut through the silence. "Can I help you with something?" It wasn't a warm offer, it was a challenge. Anna turned to see one of the women, arms crossed, her red lipstick drawn as sharp as her tone. Anna smiled politely. "Yes, I'm looking for a birthday gift for my mum." "Just browsing," she replied softly. "For your mother?" the woman asked, raising an eyebrow like she'd just heard something absurd. "You do know this is La Bellissima, right?" Anna felt her heart tighten but nodded. "Yes, I just want something special for her." The second woman approached, as if joining a performance. "These are not mall trinkets," she added, her voice low but piercing. "People come here for quality, for craftsmanship." Anna tried to explain, reaching into her purse to show her carefully counted bills, neatly folded 10s and 5s, but it was no use. The first woman smirked. "You might be more comfortable at Madison Discount Gifts," she said, gesturing vaguely toward the window. "There's nothing in your price range here." A few customers nearby looked over, some with discomfort, others with silent agreement. No one said anything. Anna's throat tightened. Embarrassment crawled up her neck like fire. She wanted to say something back, to tell them they had no idea who she was or what her mother meant to her. But no words came, only a deep ache in her chest. She looked down at the charm bracelet again, her vision slightly blurred, not from the lights, but from something heavier. The quiet cruelty in their words had taken something simple and turned it into something humiliating, and nobody, not a single soul, stepped forward. As Anna stood frozen, heart sinking and hands trembling, she took a step back from the bracelet display. She could feel everyone's eyes on her, like spotlights illuminating her flaws. She didn't belong here, they all silently agreed. Even though she hadn't done anything wrong, shame pressed down on her like a weight she couldn't shake off. One of the saleswomen moved forward, and without saying anything, gently pushed the bracelet case closed with 2 fingers, sealing away the little dream Anna had held onto for weeks. The unspoken message was clear. "You're not welcome here." Anna turned to leave, swallowing hard to keep the tears from falling. Her dignity was slipping through her fingers, and all she wanted now was to escape the suffocating air of that boutique. She reached for the door handle when a firm voice rose from the back of the store, calm but commanding. "If she leaves, I leave too." The words cut through the quiet tension like thunder. Everyone turned to look. A tall man in an expensive gray suit stepped forward from beside a display of handbags. His presence was magnetic, and the saleswomen's faces went pale the moment they recognized him. "Excuse me," one of them stammered. "I said what I meant," he replied, walking toward Anna with steady steps. His voice didn't rise, but it didn't need to. It was the kind of tone that carried weight, a tone people listened to. This young woman was treated with disrespect the moment she walked in. I watched the whole thing. Anna looked up, startled. She didn't recognize him, but something about the way he stood, calm, powerful, unapologetically sure of himself, made her feel like she had an anchor in the storm. The man turned to the saleswomen. "Is this how you treat every customer who doesn't look like money? You judged her before she even spoke. That bracelet she picked out, she had the money for it. She came here to give her mother something special, but you treated her like she was dirt. That's not just bad customer service. That's bad humanity." The store manager, having overheard the confrontation, rushed out from the back. "Mr. Bennett, I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding." "It's not." Mr. Bennett cut in, eyes cold. "And I won't spend another cent in this store if this is how people are made to feel. Do you know how many events I host through your brand? Fundraisers, corporate partnerships, all gone. Cancel everything." The color drained from the manager's face. The saleswomen stood speechless, their smug expressions gone. Anna's heart was racing, her chest rising with a sudden blend of disbelief and something she hadn't expected to feel today: vindication. "I'm nobody," she whispered to him quietly, not wanting to embarrass herself further. He smiled gently. "You're not nobody. You're someone who deserves to be treated with basic decency. And you're someone who reminded me that silence helps no one." Then he turned to the counter. "Wrap up that bracelet. I'll take care of it." Anna's eyes widened. "No, I have the money. I saved up." "I know," he said, "but today let it be a gift from one human being to another." The bracelet was wrapped with trembling hands as the staff silently obeyed. The once confident saleswomen were now avoiding eye contact, their pride crumbling in the shadow of their prejudice. Anna held the bag close to her chest as she and the man walked out of the boutique together. For the first time in what felt like hours, the sunshine outside didn't feel cold. Outside the boutique, Anna paused under the awning, the small glossy gift bag in her hands feeling much heavier than it should have. She stared down at it, unsure of what to say, still processing the whirlwind that had just unfolded. Mr. Bennett stood beside her, pulling a pair of sunglasses from his blazer pocket, but not yet putting them on. He looked at her, not as a savior, not as someone who just made a public stand, but simply as a fellow human. "I still don't understand why you did that," she said softly, her voice carrying a mix of confusion and gratitude. He smiled faintly. "Because someone needed to, and because I've seen what happens when nobody does." She tilted her head, curious. There was something deeper behind his calm demeanor, a story unspoken. "I grew up like you," he continued. "Worn shoes, hand-me-downs, people always assuming I didn't belong. And sometimes the pain wasn't in what they said, but in what they didn't. The looks, the silence, the doors that stayed shut." Anna looked at him, realizing now that the man who had just shaken the foundations of an upscale store wasn't some disconnected billionaire. He understood. "I told myself," he went on, "that if I ever had a seat at the table, I'd use it to open more chairs, or at the very least flip the table when it's wrong." She laughed gently through the emotion that still clung to her chest. "You definitely flipped something back there." He chuckled too. "Good. Maybe they'll think twice before looking down on someone again." A black car rolled up to the curb. The driver stepped out, ready to open the door, but Mr. Bennett held up a hand. "One sec." He turned to Anna. "I know today wasn't what you expected, but remember this moment, the next time someone tries to shrink you. You didn't walk into that store with fear, you walked in with purpose. That's more than most people do in a lifetime." She nodded slowly. "Thank you for everything." He gave a small bow of his head. "Take care of your mom. Happy birthday to her." With that, he stepped into the car and disappeared into the steady pulse of city traffic. Anna stood still for a moment, watching the car vanish down the street, then glanced at the bracelet box inside the bag. She opened it gently. The little heart charm sparkled softly in the light, now etched with a meaning far beyond its price tag. She walked the next few blocks in a kind of quiet emotional haze. When she reached her mother's apartment, a modest second-floor walk-up that always smelled like baked cinnamon and love. She knocked twice before entering. Her mother was in the kitchen stirring something on the stove, her hair tied up in a messy bun. She turned and smiled. "You're early." Anna held out the box, wordless. Her mother blinked in surprise, then slowly opened it. When she saw the bracelet, her hand flew to her mouth. "Oh honey, you didn't have to." "I wanted to," Anna said, voice cracking. "You deserve something beautiful." Her mother pulled her into a hug, one that lasted longer than usual, and for the first time in days, Anna allowed herself to cry, not from pain but from gratitude, from relief, from the profound truth that kindness, when shown at the right time, can change everything. And somewhere in the city, in a boardroom or ballroom, a man in a grey suit reminded another room full of polished people that real wealth isn't about the price of a bracelet, but the cost of silence.